Good morning. Good morning, everyone. All right, we're gonna rebuild and come back into this. It's all we can do. Got to keep pushing forward. And let's see kind of where we're at, because I may be ready to continue playtesting. Delicious. I got ice water today. Mainly because I have no more cans of soda. I wasn't able to go to the store to get anything more. I had my last live wire. I used it to went to a ghost investigation, so I needed something to keep me awake. That's where that went. All right, let's do this. I believe, so what I did off stream is I found found an easy way to decouple this whole fuel system. I created the Runic Power 1, which fully works. Everything's been colored. This is actually what the pattern's going to look like, and that's how you're going to make your basic runestone, which I may end up changing the name of. And then I made this one, the Runic Power 2, which is all fully mapped as well. And I did test this one as well, and it does indeed work to make the advanced one, which I think I'm just going to call, maybe I'll call this like the Arcanus runestone, right? The Chimerite runestone. And then this could be like a Bloodstone runestone and a Moonstone runestone. I did some more changes too. I redid some models here. Let me make it daytime. Right, Spellforge got some tweaks just to kind of colorize things a little bit. You know, hide some things, kind of shift some stuff around. I think it looks less busy, which is really good. There's just a lot of temporal stuff going on, but it's a little more focused now. This one just took a kind of a texture facelift here. The pedestal changed, kind of made it thinner. Not sure if it's going to stay purple. But for now, that's what the cloth is. I may actually want to see what it looks like without the cloth. But I had to shrink it down, change the hitbox of it, so you can actually like target the block underneath. I'm gonna start to do that where I can, just because I want you to be able to put like carpet down, you know, on the block where it is. I readjusted this to kind of bring it down a lot more, kind of recenter it. It was a little forward-facing before. I stopped the rotation. I was thinking about it. The rotation is called every 25 milliseconds. It's a pretty aggressive rotation to make it look like it's like spinning. But because it also does that, it's adding a lot more calls. And until this game is a little more optimized, I decided to disable all that logic. So now it's just gonna like hover there, right? And let me actually test here. How many? Okay, good. So it does change, right? Let's get rid of some of this stuff. Yeah. This is it took a little bit, actually. It took a little bit to get the colors here, to try and like give everything like a distinct color that you could kind of look at. And yeah. but these are in. You know what, while I'm thinking about it, right, basic runestone, let's change those names, because I do like the idea of those names being different. Runestone. I don't know why my key... I'm like over here leaning to try and get on my keyboard. So you gotta move it in front of me. There we go. Alright, so for runestone, instead of basic runestone, this will be an Arcanus runestone. This will be a Chimerite runestone. This one is no longer there. Then I got my regular moonstone and then bloodstone. Okay. I'm going to do reload lang. That's better. Arcanus. Oh my god, I spelled Chimerite wrong. Chimerite. There we go. Yep. I spelled it right. Sweet. Okay. This is looking mighty fine. It's funny how you get closer and it gets brighter. Look at that. Like, right here is where it is. That's weird. Oh, it's because I'm holding a light source. That's better. Okay. Alright. This is pretty good. Alright, so let's continue the playtesting. So I left off with... Oh, you know what? There's one more thing. Before we go any further with playtesting, I need to decide if I'm going to have you make the Spellforge, Oculus parts, and the Sanctum, if I'm going to have you make those out of, like, clay forming and transmutation, or if you're going to have to actually craft these in the foundry. I'm leaning towards the foundry for this. I think it would make sense, because you need some kind of cost, right? Like, in the beginning, the cost was just very low to get set up. Right? This basically took a cobblestone. This, you clay formed and cast transmutation. Clay formed, cast transmutation. Like, 2 stacks of 64 blue clay, and you can make everything you need to, you know, start the grimoire process, creation process. So I'm thinking I should add, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 more tablets. Yeah, I should add 4 more tablets here. You know what I could do? I could separate it out. I could have it to where any crafting station needs to be napped out of, like, an obsidian tablet. Which, I guess, if I'm thinking of research, right? So, I create this. And then I would need to get the Sigil of Balance. Right? Either that or find obsidian. But I think maybe it's Sigil of Balance. You know what? Let's take a look at the guidebook. I don't remember which one it is. I only write this stuff. Damn it. Let's get the admin tool. There we go. Unlock all the achievements. It's a Sigil of Creation, Flint to Obsidian. I don't think I should be throwing obsidian tablets in your face immediately. Yeah, you know what? Maybe those tablets just needs to be enchanted stone. I can add 4 more enchanted stone tablets. Yeah, I think that would be pretty good. Alright, let's do it. Let's add 4 more tablets. So let's pull this up for the enchanted stone tablets. Copy, paste. Create some space in between. Get rid of magical repair kit. So the first thing I'm going to want you to make, scroll all the way up, is the Spellforge. Do that. I don't want any dashes. Spellforge, normal, north. So that's going to be the name of the Spellforge. Let's pull up the Oculus. And right here. So it's going to be Oculus, normal, pedestal, north. We'll copy and paste. So instead of pedestal, this one's going to be core. And then sanctum. Oh, so it's going to be what? Sanctum normal north. Right there. Right, so we're going to generate these tablets. Let's go ahead and save that. I'm going to have to shut down the game because we're going to have to make 4 images. Let's scroll down. Whoop, not that far. Where the hell is it? Tablets? Did I name it tablets? Blocks. No, it wouldn't be blocks. It'd be under items. Thaumcraft Foundry tablets. Here we go. I'll just copy this. Copy, paste, 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 paste. Now, it's important that I get these names right. So there's 1. And this one is 2. Copy. This one is 3. Copy. And this one is 4. Now we have to come down to here because I have more files to create. I've got to copy this, paste it in 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And we need to come into the recipes here. So I'm going to have to add these 4 new blocks, or these 4 new tablets. Just like this. 1, 2. 3. 4, right? So I can get rid of that. And I will ease out of this. All right, so now we are going to rename these. So instead of Apprentice Hat, this will be Spellforge. I'm going to copy that whole name. We'll get rid of this. All right, so we're going to hop in. Change this. Change this. Find the Spellforge right there. And we will leave this open. I'm just going to save that. Next thing is going to be the Oculus pedestal. Oculus pedestal right here. Copy. And we'll prune this part out. And again, we're going to go here, here. There we go. Oculus pedestal. We're going to save that one. Next one's going to be the Oculus core. Oh, Vice is getting thirsty again. Oculus Core, paste, paste, and in here we can do Oculus Core, save that, and the last one is the Sanctum. ZNCTUM, Sanctum. Copy. There we go, copy that. And we will paste, paste. There we go. And the Sanctum. All right, the fuck. I hate when like little things like flash up. Like, no, I did not mean to click that. When have I ever clicked that? Get it out of my face. All right, so the next thing that I have to do is I'm going to come back here. I probably should have left these open. But like Sanctum, I need to go into the Sanctum, come down to the parts here. This is going to be Magic Station Sanctum, normal, north. And I'm going to move this to a new window as I complete each one. Oculus. Okay, so here's the Oculus. And this is going to be the Oculus Core. So it was Oculus, normal, dash, core, dash, north. And I can actually copy this, go into the pedestal, paste it in, instead of core, P-E-D-E-S-T-A-L, pedestal. Start moving these over. And this one is the Spellforge. Which is Spellforge dash normal dash north. Build. So it should be happy, good to go. Now what I need to do is close that out. Now we gotta come all the way down. I need to register this stuff. So let's find the Thaumic Foundry registration section, which is further down. There we go. So right in here, I'm going to do a quick paste. Get rid of all of that. And that. Copy, paste, 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 right? So there's 4 of them. So the first thing is going to be the Magic Spellforge. This one's going to be the Oculus Pedestal. This will be the Oculus Core. This one's going to be Sanctum. There it is. And I just have to manually type these in. Spellforge RM. Oculus Pedestal RM. Oculus Core RM. Sanctum RM. Alright. So these should be all set. Gonna fireball this in. So they're all default recipes right now. So I can change the recipes, but everything should be registered. We should have new tablets. Those tablets we have to change the texture on. I actually need to update the texture anyways for the Arcanus. So we'll do that as well. Let me open this stuff up. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna move that to the side. Oh, I gotta get rid of that. Mage Candle Ritual up. Mage Candle, Ritual, up. Grid recipes. Yeah, you used to be able to make this with the grid recipes, not anymore. Yeah, it's gonna be upset with what I just did. Actually, look, it looks a little different here. Foundry get held item. Cannot create item stack without item. I was gonna say, can I just continue? Oh, duh. Yeah, let's go back. Where did I have it all? These? They're all blocks. I can't have them in here. So, we're gonna copy this. Paste it down here, then this becomes null. I just gotta do the same thing. Copy, paste, null, copy, paste, null. I gotta fix the system. I actually do it a little differently now with the Arclight Furnace. I don't differentiate between a block and an item. I just do individual checks. Eventually, I gotta migrate to that, but for now, this works. Bernardo! You can't have it there, delete everything, start from scratch. Yeah, imagine that. That's what I pretty much did again with this update. I disabled most everything and then just brought things back on that I, piecing things back together. Sometimes it is a lot harder to, to keep a lot of old code. It's easier just to, start fresh. Alright, let's hop on in. How are things? Things are pretty good. Can't complain. It's Sunday. I guess I could complain about... You know what? No, I can't. I took Monday off. I'm going to be playing video games all tomorrow. So good. So, yeah! I'm excited about that. Super excited. How are you doing? Hope everything's going well. What the hell are these? Test 12. Oh, these are the Astrolith and Netherite tablets. Oh, okay, I know what's happening there. I know what's happening there. Alright, so Chimerite. Ew, I still have the Mastercraft Stone. I should disable that, but I won't for now. What I want to do is find... Here we go, these blocks. We're going to print screen. Go copy. Paste. Okay. So this is the new Arcanus. Let me just copy this. Arcanus normal, paste. Bam. New updated texture. That one's done. The next thing we're gonna do is the Spellforge, which is right here. New look. Copy. Oh, that's the Oculus Core, Oculus Pedestal, Sanctum. There we go, Spellforge. Paste. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The Spellforge is done. Next thing, alright, we'll do the Sanctum next, which is right here. Copy Sanctum. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Perfect, and then we'll get the pedestal, the new pedestal, which is right here. Paste. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And the last thing is the actual Oculus Core. Copy, zoom in, paste, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right. Discard, close, and reload. All good here, yeah, thanks, yeah. It's a good Sunday. It's a good Sunday. I think we're gonna be getting thunderstorms today, though. Most of the day. I did all my grilling yesterday because it was a nice day. I had forgot though that I cooked greasy ass burgers and forgot to like change the aluminum foil at the bottom. So I'm like, oh, you know, I program my time right, turn on my grill, my pellet grill. And I'm looking at it on my, because I have a phone app for it, so I can like adjust times and everything with it being on, and you know, set it to like 4:25, so I'm gonna throw on some pork chops and just want to cook them fast. And then I look out, and it's like smoking like a bitch, and I'm like, oh no. I'm like, yeah, let's put it back down and cool down. Yep, there it is. Son of a bitch. Totally forgot. But I had to wait for it to cool down. Then I took the bottom tray out and removed all the aluminum foil, and it was clean after that. And then put down all new aluminum foil, pop it back in, turned it back on. It cost me like about 40 minutes, like waiting for everything to get cool enough to at least touch with my oven safe gloves. It was crazy. That shit gets hot. Too bad. Too bad. Imagine being a programming and not using an alarm. What do you mean? There was no alarm. It's a smoker too. So the fact that it was smoking wasn't an issue. Right? I actually have hickory pellets in there. So as I grill with this thing, it can, like your hot dogs and burgers and everything, it puts the smoke ring on it too. Oh, it's really good. The pork chops turned out really good. Right, but at first, like I remember looking out there, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's smoking, but it does that when it's like, you know, about 200 degrees. Low temperature is like it puts it into like smoker mode, and then it gets hot enough to where like it just doesn't smoke anymore. But when I looked out the last time, I'm like, oh, it's at the temperature, and I look and I'm like, that's not right. Uh-oh. And then I open the door, and usually when it's in smoker mode, you could smell like the nice hickory flavoring or the peach wood, or you know, like whatever your pellets are. You know, actually, it's not this. The pellets I have now are a mesquite hardwood, which is really good. Those pork chops turned out awesome. But yeah. The grill doesn't care if it smokes. There's no alarm for it. The grill just does not care. Alright. So, let me check out these new tablets. Should be right at the bottom. They're not localized, but we see here the result is a Spellforge. The result Oculus, Oculus Pedestal, Oculus Core, and the Sanctum. Let's go ahead and localize these names. Tablet, here we go. Copy, paste. Get rid of those two things. Here we go. Copy, paste. There's no way in hell I'm going to type all this out correctly, so we're just gonna copy and paste it again. I think what I'm gonna have to do here is look up my old recipes. There we go. And see what they cost, and then just make sure they don't take anything like temporal gears. So this will be Spellforge. This will be Oculus Pedestal. This will be Oculus Core. And this will be Sanctum. There we go. That should fix it. Let's do a .reload lang. Man, I was hoping it wasn't going to storm today, because I would love to grill today, too. I got this, with the Amazon bullshit sale. I got, heavy, like, cast iron, like, presses, like, weighted presses for burgers and chicken and stuff. So I really want to get some, some burger meat, season it up all nicely, and then pop it on the grill, and then use the burger presses. I can't wait. I got 2 of them because it was like 45% off, and I had been looking at them. I'm like, hell yeah, sign me up. And I got 2 of them because, you know, I want to be, you know, if I cook inside, because you could use them inside, it's not just for the grill. You know, I'll cook like 2 burger patties at a time anyway. So I'm like, well, it'd be nice to just put weights on both of them. Get a nice sear. All right, so I can pull this out. Oop. Let's get rid of this. Let's grab our new tablets. Make sure each one can start up. Yep, it is indeed correct. I put something in here to where I could tell if everything's going to work well just by throwing it in here. If there's no error, and I can hold sneak and see the entire, the whole recipe, it means everything registered right. If it said, like, you know, block entity, Vomit Foundry, RM, you know, error, then that tells me that the recipe's not registered or I messed something up. Perfect, and look at that. Beautiful. It's beautiful! 1, 2, 3, 4. There. Nice. All right, so you'll be able to make those. Let's take a look at the old recipes. They should still be in. I haven't fully disabled a bunch of stuff. So this is what the current recipe is. It's actually not bad. Except for the obsidian. We'll change that out. But really, this isn't bad. All right, what about the Oculus? Do the Oculus pedestal? Yeah, see, temporal gear. Temporal gear. What about the Sanctum? Temporal gear. At least that temporal gear on the bottom made sense, right? Because the whole thing kind of hovers. So I guess, you know what? I guess we could, let's start with the Spell Forge. I'm just going to kind of move this right here. And I got to find where all of my, here we go, all this stuff went. So we're going to start with the Spell Forge. It's not going to take any Mage Weave. I think we should start out with Enchanted Stone. So that's just going to be plain Enchanted Stone. Should you use Essence Ash? I'm thinking you should. I'm going to have an Essence Ash cost. Maybe Rustic Compound. That's kind of like my mod's glue. I'm going to have you use elemental crystals as well. Any kind of crystal. Instead of obsidian. And then I think the last bits are Arcanus and the Primordial Fragment. So let's do Arcanus-normal. And this will be Primordial Fragment. I gotta change these numbers accordingly. This is slots 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me copy this, paste. So 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Now, how much of each? I'm thinking We could do 6 enchanted stone. How much essence ash should it be? Maybe we could start increasing it here, right? So we'll put 8 in. 89. 89. For rustic compound, 2 works. The amount of crystals you would need, we could have that be 4. You'll need 4 crystals. Arcanus will also be 4. You know what? What is the Arcanus recipe? Oh, this is weird, playing split screen. So, it already takes small crystals. So, I don't need that to be... Anyway. I don't need that to be a factor. There we go, Spellfoot. Bring that back up. Alright, well, let's pull this back up. So I will get rid of the crystal part, and you'll just need Arcanus. I think 4 Arcanus is going to be more than enough. And then for Primordial Fragments, I had 4. For this, 3, you know what? 3's okay. 3's alright. Maybe it should be 2. I'll reduce that. You know what? No, because you get a lot of free ones. 4. We'll go with 4. For that, 4 Arcanus. Oh, that's right. There we go. So this needs to be 3, 4, and 5. 3, 4, and 5. If the numbering's off, it will mess up. Okay, there we go. So 6 enchanted stone. 8 of the neutral ash, 2 of the rustic compound, 4 of the Arcanus, and 4 of the primordial fragments. We're going to copy that, save, and let's look at the Oculus pedestal right now. You go ahead and paste this in. Oops. There we go. So again, for enchanted stone, 6 is good. I'm gonna bump this up to 12 ash. 2 of those. 6 and 4. Here it is. Looking for this copy. Let's look at the core. Paste, right? So for the core, I think this should be 8 because it's a full solid block. This could be 16. Maybe 4. The rustic compounds. 6 and 4, I think, are also good. You know, I'm actually going to make both 3. Because you need 2 together anyways, so that would just be 6 total. Then paste. You know what, for now, the sanctum will just be that. Right? So now what I could do, now that I have a basic recipe, I can look at my items here and then see if anything else should be used, right? Or something should be swapped out. I could ignore the crystals for now, because the fact that I'm making you use Arcanus means that you already had to process crystals for it. So it doesn't make sense to double tap you there. So for reagents, like, I do have mage candles. I could have mage candles be a recipe, right? Like, in the recipe. You know what? Mage candles may actually be pretty good for the Sanctum. I'm going to move this here. So I'm going to copy and paste this. So 4, 5, and 6. Copy, paste, 4, 5, and 6. Maybe I'll have you just throw in like 3 candles. And this is going to be Mage Candle dash Ritual dash Inert dash North. Okay, what else we got here? You're using Arcanus. Crystallized Memories. I don't know. I don't know if I should make you use a crystallized memory or not. I've been having pretty decent drop rates for these crystallized memories in testing. Maybe you need 1 crystallized memory for the creation of the Sanctum. Hey, Pavadigan, how's it going? Mage candles are a must. A must-have. I'll put it right here. So 5, 6. This would be 7. Copy paste. This would be 7. What do I call this? Crystallized memories. And you'll only need 1. Alright, Sanctum's looking good. Let's move on. I don't know when Eldrathrium's going to come in, so I can't use that. I can't use Bloodstone, or really any of these. I already got Arcanus as a reagent. Okay, here we go. So, I'm already having you use Essence Ash. These sigils may actually be disabled. We'll see. Primordial Fragments. You're not going to have a Rift Charge yet. So Rustic Compound I'm already using. The Runic Scroll. Should you have to use a Runic Scroll? For the Oculus Pedestal, Oculus Core, and or Spellforge. Maybe for the Spellforge. Be smart on using the crystallized memories. Yeah, it just means that you shouldn't, like, eat them immediately when you get them, because they're a crafting reagent too. Runic Scroll. I think for the Spellforge, it would make sense that you'd have to use a couple of them. I could make it make sense. Yes, we could brute force that. Really, that's the only other reagent I have that I could use. I put it right after the Rustic Compound, right? So this could be 4, 5, and 6. Four, 5, and 6. I think it's just Runic Scroll dash Tier 1 is the name, so that's position 4. How many should you be using? I mean, if this was a grid recipe, it'd be 3 or 4, right? Because you would be making a pattern with it. Fuck it, I'll just do 3. They're really not that hard to make anymore. Like everything, all the entry level stuff's been kind of reduced quite a bit. Okay. Well, then I guess for the... Well, that's all the magical stuff that you could get. feel like it's almost there, but it's not quite. Let's take a look at items. So what items would you have available just in-game? And not rot. I don't want to use resin. I feel like resin's one of those things where in the base game it's either really scarce or you put in a couple mods and then it literally flows like water. So I don't think that's a good look. We're getting into my mod stuff now. Shouldn't be like any kind of food. Not bone, not beeswax. I mean, I can make you use raw blue clay. Maybe you gotta throw in like 16 blue clay. I hope you are going to add more information to the manual. Well, what do you mean? Like what? What do you mean add more information? Look at all the information I give you right now. What more do you want? Like, holy crap. It's a lot of stuff. The whole manual is going to be rewritten for that again. But I need people to playtest first to like lock down if the new path feels good, right? And then there needs to be talks about what's the actual progression system going to be, right? Like, is it going to be a Thaumcraft like research experience? I don't think that's going to be the case. I've been soul searching a lot on this, and I don't think it's a good move to put something like that in. Mainly because I don't have the foundation for it. Now, maybe for my alchemy mod, then yes, because I'm gonna have it's gonna be, you know, in the base mod, I can put something in where you are, you know, scanning every single block in the game. You know what I mean? Like, I can embed a system like that for like alchemical research. I can create my version of Viz because the idea is you're going to be able to break down any reagent into raw components, so it's going to be similar to a Viz-like system. So again, right? Like, and then with that foundation, I could then bring in a decent researchable base, right? Research is going to be boring if it's like, oh, kind of on the rails. There's like, you know, it's just like looking at what I could use in recipes. You know, I don't have a lot of magical items, and I don't want to create a lot of magical items that are just like redundant. You know what I mean? Like, should you have 3-4 different versions of mage candles that all do slightly different things? Probably not. You know, like I'm trying to pull back from like 3 different kinds of Arcanus, you know, like all these little variations that have like maybe one niche use. So instead, I'm thinking the Ars Magica type of progression where maybe I can make like a, you know, an interaction kind of block where you like open it and you can see your skill tree for yourself. I will allow you to, through like different feats of you know, like maybe rare drops on things, or by accomplishing certain things, you will be able to get skill points, and then you would have a skill tree, right? And then you could choose what paths you go down in your skill tree, right? So maybe, you know, you get the foundry by, you know, getting a skill point for creating your wand. You know, because that's a big milestone, right? And then you could choose, you could get this, but then this branches out into, you know, creating this, or, you know, doing the Arclight Furnace, or it could branch off to this, right? So you could kind of put your points where you want them. So some people could research and gain the skill points to just, you know, maybe they want the really, really good staves, right? The magic staves for spell casting. Maybe someone else specializes and wants to just go down the path to get the really good mage armor or the heavy mage armor that I want to make. You know, maybe this person wants to branch off into spell creation, specifically evocation, right? So I'm thinking something like that is going to probably be better. If you want the planet's hate, you do the Thaumcraft research system. Well, it depends on what version of Thaumcraft, Bernardo. It would be more like Thaumcraft 6 if I were to do it. But I just don't, you know, the mod's just not set up for that. There's like 8 elements and 3 different types of essence. And then the rest is like primordial, right? But it's like the primordial breaks off into the 3, and then each one of those 3 breaks off into all the elements. There's not a lot of wiggle room, you know? You shouldn't be mixing those elements. It's not that kind of system. Here we go. But yeah, I'm hoping that I get to do less in the manual. I'll of course have like some broad stroke ones like unlocking magic and, you know, like initial steps and stuff like that. But some of the stuff down here, I'm hoping I don't have to go into like crazy detail anymore, right? Because you shouldn't be going to here for your, you know, like for your achievements and stuff. Like you will see something like this in your Spellforge, right? So you'll be able to see like the branching decision tree of like, oh yeah, look, what do I want? Oh, cool, look at that. That's alteration spell creation. Oh yeah, so to do that I gotta go down this path or this path that eventually leads to here. Right, oh, I'm gonna need a staff. Yep, there's the staff. Oh, look at that, there's a summoning staff. Wow, there's a whole summoning tree. Right, like that's what I'm gonna want you to do. I don't want you to sit there and have, you know, a bunch of guides like this and be like, oh, rituals. Although I still will have to... Rituals are like one of the only things that I need to preserve. Yuppie Tech coming in with the raid. Welcome on in, everyone. Let's give you a shout out. Shout out. Let's see what you were doing. Did it work? Yeah, Vintage Story. Were you modding? Or were you playing? Welcome in, everyone. We are piecing together the new rewrite for the magic mod here. We're kind of going over the research system that I'm going to be putting in. And hopefully how it's going to help, you know, this situation here for the guidebook. Hopefully it helps out. Because this is kind of a lot. I was cleaning up my Rusty Gears tower build because Tyron and Sari are touring it next week, so I feel like I need to finish things. I got you. Yep, cleaning up. I got it. That's awesome. I'm hoping after this this magic update, I'm done like picking apart the magic mod and it feels like a magic mod. Well, it's a nice guidebook. Thanks. Yeah, it's all achievement based. But I think I'm going to be adopting, it was either going to be a Thaumcraft 6 type research table, an achievement unlock, or the Ars Magica 2, where you get like the skill points and you kind of pick in your tree to go down and unlock things. I think it would make more sense for this mod to have the Ars Magica 2 version, just because I don't have the depth, you know, the complexity here. Like, you can't scan every block, right? Like, I don't have like this intricate Viz system where there's like 85 different versions of Viz that I can use to make like research diverse and have you like go out in the world and try and scan things to gain like observation and increase your inspiration when you research. Like, the mod just it's not built for that, right? Like, I have like the primordial rust, and that breaks down into light, neutral, and dark essence, and then those 3 break off into the elements, and then that's it, right? Never should the 2 meet. But What you should have it scan every variant, including chisel blocks. Yeah, right? Let me just quickly program that in. But I'm thinking it would make more sense because I want to do an in-depth alchemy mod. And that would have a lot of, like, you would look at, like, Deathcap. And then you would have to distill it and research it down. And Deathcap may have, like, 4 or 5 different, like, essences, right, that you could pull from. Right? So it would make more sense with, like, alchemy and the way I want observation and stuff to work there. Yo, so how's the rework going? What are we working on right now? So I just finished redesigning... I redesigned the rituals to get the new and improved Arcanus runestone. And then I made a more complex one. You won't be able to do this until you unlock, like, advanced rituals. But this is going to be how you make the Chimerite runestone. So basically, I think, and what we just did is created some tablets here. So you could pop your tablet in, and you can start creating. In this case, it's going to be the Spellforge, right? So you would throw your items in, create your Spellforge, get your new Oculus up and running, and the new Sanctum. So I think at this point, I'm going to kind of be playtesting a little bit. I already playtested this. We did the clay forming. Tested a bunch of things here. I probably should add something to the furnace. The upgrade slots for the furnace. Oh, that's what this is. I changed a couple things. Hold on. Let's see. Make sure I'm getting all this stuff out. There we go. We got to put the new mage candles in. I was wondering why the mage candles weren't showing up. There we go. Now I can increase that maximum. And we have to think about a way... Damn it, it's getting dark again. There we go. Where I am right now, it seems like there's an eclipse every day. Temporal storm. There we go. Get out of here, foul beast! Have you done any messing around with mini dimensions? I haven't. I tried to make some kind of mock, like a full-blown dimension. The system just isn't there yet to be able to make one, because I wanted to make a magic, like, Rust world. Like a plane of existence, and it was going to be my version of the Nether. So it was going to be much harder, you know, lava, you know what I mean? Like, not only lava, but, like, my essence, my version of, like, Taint was going to be a big theme, so it was going to be, like, Thaumcraft Taint. But I don't think you could do that. And then what I also wanted to do was make it to where you could create your own pocket space and then, like, teleport to it. But to be able to do that, right? This isn't Minecraft. I don't think we can do, like, you know what I mean? Like, have, you know, 25 different little mini worlds. we can't. We barely have, like, the devastation, and I say barely because that bad boy needs some work. But I have faith. They're probably working on it, right? Because that was a big strong point in Minecraft, right? Like, being able to just whip out dimensions. Like, the Nether was, like, a nice increase in, like, challenge level. You know, like, you could get modders in there, like, making, like, the Aether mod, right? Twilight Forest. You know, like, you could spool up worlds. It was awesome. I don't want to visit the Taint. Just plug your nose. You'll be fine. Okay, let's continue playtesting, right? So I'm a mage. I got about 25 mana. I'm able to craft the primitive wand and the runed wand. I think I need to come up with a different name for these. And one's gonna have to be just like generic wood. The other one's gonna have to have bone in it. Let's look at equipment. So I have resonant wands. There we go. We'll just get the redwood here. And this one has the better version of transmutation, right? And then you can hold sneak and you can change your spells, and then you can cast serenity if you had the mana, which I do not. But this is supposed to be the advanced wand, and then you would have the regular transmutation. I think I gotta change the particles on these. It doesn't make sense to have this green anymore because the Arcanist color changed. Your fault for not going into Tyrone streams to bug him. I did! A couple of times. I did. I think of the last stream that I saw him in, I just flat out said, like, Dimensions when? I want to make a nether. It's, you know, as soon as we get, like, a full-blown system, I have a bunch of save time. I got, like, I think, like, over 150 hours of PTO. But, I will be taking time off of work and doing, like, not a 24-hour stream, but damn near a 12 to 16-hour stream. Just figuring out making a new dimension. That's true. He did add the chisel block shape file live on stream because I asked questions. Yeah, I tried. Trust me, I tried. There's something coming though, right? There was like a little teaser. It's like we're working on something. So we'll have to wait and see. I got faith. I got faith. At first I was a little scared with the whole like hightailed, you know, merger, hiring. But I think I've come to accept. And I'm being optimistic about it now. Being optimistic. It would be really awesome that if you research some dark magic stuff, it would start corrupting your world, sort of flow into this world, and it would be sort of a mini dimension around a researching area, which could grow. You have to keep it in control somehow, or maybe not control it inside the mini dimension. You could do some specific research, which can only be done here, but special mobs spawn in here and stuff. Maybe also you keep going insane there. Yeah, it would be pretty cool. I would have to be careful about that, like interacting with the world. Because there are a lot of people who are like diehards for it's my claimed land, right? Like you could just claim the land around an area and it would like clean up all the taint, you know? I'd have to, and also I would want to make sure that I don't add something that forces you to interact with it, or else risk, you know, damage to the world, right? Like never ending, like spreading taint. You know, you're not going to explore everything. What if it's just outside of your range there, then you cross the next mountain, and all of a sudden it's like as far as the eye can see, it's nothing but like taint and destruction. It's like, well, that whole side of the world is screwed. We can't go that way. I wonder if his cross-pollination with Hightail Group might eventually push Dimensions forward. I don't know what to expect of it, honestly. My initial fear was the fact that, like, I know he was part of Hightail before, you know, and then he split off. But that was a long time ago, right? Like, you know, you look in any company, especially like a game design company, original talent isn't there anymore. You know what I mean? So when you're bringing in people for a failed project, that's where I was afraid. I'm like, uh-oh. Like, you know what I mean? Because I mean, it's either going to be one of two sides or both sides, right? Either the publisher, you know, restricted things too much, but at least then you get some kind of product most of the time, right? And it's just like a watered down piece of crap. They're just trying to recoup. You know what I mean? But it's normally like if a project gets canceled, I would look more towards the brains behind working on it, right? Like, did you guys just have a bunch of feature creep? You know, like obviously you did because you didn't push anything out, you know. But you know, if you can't balance out, right, like things to get them in the hands of people, and you know what I mean, and like engage, you know what I mean, like It's like I just didn't want to see a failure, you know. And we got a lot of things that the current game needs working on. And then it's like, well, what happens with the modding API, right? Because sure, they're going to use the same at first, but eventually, if they become two different games, right? Like their backbone's going to split somewhere in the line, right? So then you're, you know, are you splitting the modding community at that point? You know what I mean? Like what's going on? I just had a bunch of fear questions. You know, at first I was like, man, do I go back to Minecraft modding? Like, what? Did the Forge community kind of figure itself out with that Neo Forge? Like, it's full on add hunger nodes, nothing but your taint. It's all Vice's taint. To overcome these issues, maybe the taint has a maximum range which dynamically changes based on what kind of research you do and the stuff, so it won't grow indefinitely. Also, if it could be done, maybe you can't claim an area which is tainted. Yeah, but what do you do with taint coming onto your land? You know, like that would be my first question. The other part is, can the game handle a system like that? Have you seen some people trying to play like modded Vintage Story? They're like, yeah, man, I got like 15 mods, and they're literally playing, and it's like chopping 1 second pulse rubber band. It's almost like they're playing you know, one of the games where it's like the, you know, like everyone like moves to like the same beat at the same time, you know, like the Necro Dancer kind of games. Gotta run. Have a great stream. Might check in later. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the raid. I'm just so in love with Taint Mini Dimensions flowing into the world. Yeah, well, it's gotta, you know, that system's gotta be ironed out to use it. Doesn't make sense to go through something like that, and you can't have more than 2 spawned in a server with like 3 people playing, or else it starts lagging out the server, right? Like, people get lag just from like unlocking magic, and I'm like, guys, like the calls are not bad at all. Like, this is low-hanging fruit here. You guys are seeing like, you're seeing lag from that? Oh boy, buckle in. It gets far worse from here. I mean, there are people with the gateways. You know, like if your server doesn't have enough RAM, the gateways they take a lot. Like I have a shader that runs on those gateways. And some people talk about, yeah, you know, I go to load into the world and there's just like a chunk missing, but there's no errors. I'm like, yeah, you ran out of RAM. That's what that means. There were no errors, but you just didn't have the RAM to bring that part of the world into existence. You know how you fix it? You got to reboot the server. Or teleport away, force it to unload, right? And then you could try and teleport back, but just make sure your server has the needed RAM. Done. Right? Like this block, it's pretty, you know, pretty intensive. It does particles, shaders, right? It's got to periodically check into the global network system. That way it keeps itself as a registered you know, destination. But yeah, stuff gets real. You can always download more RAM. There's probably plenty of sites, Bernardo, that will claim to do that for you. Plenty of shady sites. Let's get rid of all that stuff. I've been trying to like clean up as I go here. Man, I gotta put on my protective, the Heart of Harmony. I'm getting sick of getting rust sickness. There we go. Perfect. Beautiful. All right, let's keep playtesting. You know, I'm pretty sure you can help some Nigerian princes too, Bernardo. If you're going to download more RAM, you might as well donate to the cause. I am incredibly rich, but I just need a bunch of your money to make it out of the country. Then you're loaded. Then you're set. All I remember those scams. And I remember being a kid and being like, this sounds stupid. This isn't true. That's not how royalty works. That's not what I learned in school. The rich wouldn't be pleading for help. They'd be wiping their shit-crusted shoes off on your forehead as you're on all fours. That's what they'll do. Bend over, slave. Let me clean my shoes on the with the shirt on your back. All right. So let's continue here. Let's continue. So let's say I went through the creation process here, and I create a spell forge. Bam! Look at that. We got a spell forge. What would you do next? Nothing changed here, so you should be able to use it, right? So let's... Okay, I already did create a runic scroll. Yep, and in here I created the neutral cipher. This should still accept the neutral cipher. Okay, it's gathering energy. Excellent. Scammers prey on the weak and gullible. They absolutely do. I mean, and it's sad because, like, their approaches still work. Like, if I go into the grocery store and in the gift card section, there's a whole thing about, stop, read first. You know, be wary of scammers. And I'm like, holy shit, you need something like that? Did Windows call you up? And say that you should download more RAM? And that you need, you know, $120 in Target gift cards to... Like, what the fuck? It's like, really? But then again, I think about, well, I guess if you go to McDonald's and you order their hot coffee, the cup has to say caution, hot. You know what I mean? Like, we got some dumb people, man. Caution! This hot coffee could be hot. Hotter than you expect. Little icon next to it where it's like a little tier. Steam icons. You know what I mean? Crazy. Where are my emails? There are a large amount. Yeah, it's getting worse. Yeah, it is. It is. Where are my emails? There are a large amount of Nigerian rich princes. They have every single illness known to man, even the ladies, even the lady-only ones. Yeah. I just need some help because I felt a shift in my ovaries, and you know, like it's. I don't think I'm long for this world, and I need you to run the country of Spadoinkle in my absence. But in order to do all the paperwork, I need you to send $3,000 and Target gift cards, and Outback Steakhouse gift cards. Oh, it's an epidemic, man. They're, you know, they need help too. No one's immune in this economy. All right, hey, look at that. We've joked around enough. So again, right? This did not take long to create. Basically, you just create your spell scroll, or your runic scroll, right? So you would grab your runic scroll, you would throw it in. With enough essence here, it would start. Right now, there's not enough essence, so let's get some rustic compounds here. Here we go. We'll start burning that for fuel. But eventually, this will kick in. You know what? Let's get some primordial fragments. I think they're gonna be. It's gonna be much better. Just kidding. Rip it right out. I love the new particles. How it's like the ring now. I think it just looks better. Kind of not aggressive particles, but enough to where you're like, yeah, you know, you see the shimmers and the runes to know that you're being protected from the radiation, right? You know, just like, hey, it's working. Maybe there are chemists that do too much experiments with cold fire. Now they expect hot coffee to be the cold hot coffee. You never know. Yeah, right? I once saw a TikTok where this guy shoved his hand in and it created warm ice around his hand. He said all I needed to do was put a battery and a magnet in water and it would all work. I just can't figure out the science because it doesn't work for me. It's too big for me. Jesus Christ. You know, we're joking about it, but the sad part is there's like a smidget of truth in like every joke like that. Smidget of truth. Come on, tick one more time. I just want to see the creation process start. There we go. 200. So one more tick. One more tick. Resonating with the rest. You know what? Maybe I should sexy this up a little bit too, right? Kind of change some of the wording of it. The essence. So this should be just about there. I want to see it tick 250 and then watch this change. Okay, 250. There we go. See, now the particles, like it's starting up. The flames are kind of engulfing it. That timer's starting. Perfect. So that's how you would get this. Let's meditate. Let's see what we get. Stare into the abyss. You hear your faint whispers as you begin to meditate. Hey, look at that. We discovered the spell Hydrate Farmland. Cool, cool, cool. Oh, I see a typo there. Plus 100%. Jesus. Alright, let's fix it. Alright, this is what item? Spell cipher? Item. There we go. Item spell cipher. Okay, so down here, this was Hydrate Farmland. Oh, so I probably have the percent in this key. Yep. Boop. There we go. Fixed. Reload lang. Oh, there we go. Wait, no. Hold on. Shit. Why can't I say? Oh, that's for Aqua Burst. Oh wait, I got Aqua Burst instead. Did it say Hydrate Farmland? It did. So it said Hydrate. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, never mind. There it is. 100%. Gotta run. Have to mow my yard. Yeah, Pavadigan, I'm gonna have to mow my yard at some point too. I'll be waiting maybe a little later though. I got to do it before the thunderstorms. I forgot that. Oh yeah, okay. Yep. Good luck mowing your yard. Hopefully it's not a big yard. My backyard's big. My front yard takes like 5 minutes to do. I live in a cul-de-sac, right? So it's like kind of V's out, which is great because I would prefer to have a bigger backyard. that way the other humans around me can't really see me. All right, so I created something new. We got Hydrate Farmland. For now though, I'm gonna reset this, right? So that still resets. We have to make sure that this works. So hey, look at that! It's actually create Hydrate Farmland. So it's gonna need 1, 2 essence. Actually, what is everything that it's gonna need? This has to change. I need to get rid of the leather and parchment, and I need to make it take the new blank grimoire item. Oculus, Grimoire, here we go. Light, neutral, dark, this is all tier 1. So instead of plain leather, normal plain, this is going to be... Crap, what did I call it? Totally forgot what I called this thing. Going to be in item types, spells? Grimoire blank dash normal. Here we go. Instead of game, it's going to be mod. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Do something like this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So how much ash should you have? Well, we're going to put in 16 because it's really easy to get now. You're going to put in only 1 blank grimoire. Rustic compounds? Should you need rustic compounds? Yeah, why not? Throw in 3 of them. You know what? Throw in 4. We'll throw in 4 of those, and then what the heck is this here? We'll throw in 6 of those. Arcanus. Normal Arcanus. Do 8 of those. Rusty Gears. You know what? Should you be able to... Should you have to use a Rusty Gear on a Grimoire? I don't think that's a high cost. I don't think that's a high cost at all. Maybe instead of Rusty Gears, you should use some Primordial Fragments, maybe? You know what? I'm going to leave it as Rusty Gear. I'll let the people playtesting tell me what they think it should use. What it should and should not use. Alright, so that's just for the neutral. We're going to kind of pop this out. And we are going to do a side-by-side here. And add it to that tab. Alright, we're going to make this full screen. 2 acres and it takes 2 hours. Holy crap, dude. Good luck. It takes me like 45 minutes flat. But I'm on high speed. I'm like leaning into the turns. Like I don't fucking slow down, man. I'm just like whipping around the yard. And so you plan to reduce researches in this iteration of the mod after you are done with these. What do you mean, reduce researches? What do you mean? Or introduce researches? Not sure what you mean. Although I could also just be super focused on this. On getting this this in, right? Because I need to paste this in. And paste this in. I could get rid of the whole swap out. Like it's not really something that I'm swapping out right now. Right? So then this will become 4. This becomes 5, and this becomes 6. And then copy this and paste it in. Alright, and then paste it into here. 1, 2, 3. This becomes 4, 5, and 6. So this is going to be all the tier 1 stuff. Oh, you know what? There are no light and dark tier 1 grimoires. So what I just did is kind of useless, because those are going away. It's just going to be this. I wrote introduce, not reduce. I still know what you mean, though. So, right now, I don't know what I'm going to add for any kind of research, because I don't know what if I'm going to use the Thaumcraft 6 version of research. I don't know how things are going to... Oh, wait, are you talking about for the Spellforge? Are you talking about, like, changing the Spellforge system? If you're talking about changing the Spellforge system, no. Nothing is changing on that right now. You're still going to get the spells at random. You're still going to have the random issues. That, my friend, is called feature creep. And I don't want to hold this back anymore. Because I still need to change spells themselves. So what I'm thinking is you're going to have like a general spell school, right? Which is going to be what you're researching here, right? All the initial tier 1 neutral spells are going to be all general spells. And then you will then when you gain like advanced grimoire creation, right? Then you can maybe make like, the tier 2, what would be known as like the next tier version of spells. But that would have, you would be connecting, instead of the obelisk, you'd be connecting like a devouring void or a celestial prism, right? It would change this, because what you're seeing here is just from neutral. So if I get like the devouring void, here, let me get the admin version of it. We'll just grab this, and I'll just kind of put it over here. Here, let's at least do that. You know what? Let's break that, and then do that, right? So I can put runes around this, so it doesn't give me issues. There we go. And let's get the resonator. Right? See, now you could see, instead of blue, right, it's like purple theme now. It's got the purple stuff. So as you throw stuff in, like for the mana torch, right, you would get the regular torch. Right? If I throw it in over there, it's going to create the mana torch. Throw it into here, it's going to start creating the dark mana torch. Right? So with that expansion to your system and being able to link different things to it, right, then you'll be able to create like the advanced stuff. Yeah, I meant the Thaumcraft researches and stuff instead of the magic tiers. Yeah, magic tiers, I took them out of the mod right now. All magic tiers have been disabled, so it's kind of like, I ungated you. Magic tiers, it was great, but not for a research. Because either it's going to be a Thaumcraft 6 ripoff, or it's going to be an Ars Magica 2 ripoff. And I think it's going to be an Ars Magica 2 kind of ripoff. So I need to continue this. Actually, I need to reset this. And then we are going to reload. Reload's not going to do it. I need to shut down, save, shut down, and then log back in, because it's got to re-register that recipe. Save and quit. Quit. Probably a good idea to build these changes anyways. Back in. Why Ars Magica 2 instead of Thaumcraft? You must have recently joined. That was the whole first part of the stream. The Thaumcraft 2 research relies on a couple pretty big staples. First of all, having something like the thaumometer that allows you to scan every single block in the game, and even in modded blocks and stuff, to generate observation, right, for your research, and to also give you various types of viz, right, unlocks various types of viz. And the other part of that is they have a very complex viz system, right? Isn't Isn't there like 80 plus possibilities of Viz mixing this and this, this and this, this and this, this and this, right? So it's got a very solid foundation that this mod just doesn't have, right? Like, look at all the items that you really have to deal with here, right? Like I'm finding a difficult time diversifying things, just making a sanctum and your Spellforge and stuff. The mod, like if I try and put in a complex system like that, it's going to be very on the rails because there's only so many possibilities, right? Like I would have to put in, be like, instead of mage candles, I need to put in 6 different versions of mage candles, each with an obscure use, right? Because if you think about some of the Viz, wasn't there like a mud Viz? You know what I mean? That was like the earth Viz, and the water Viz makes a mud Viz, and you know, it started to get kind of ridiculous. That kind of Ars Magica 2 research would make sense if I were to pursue the alchemy mod that I would want to, right? Because for the alchemy mod, I do plan on putting in something where you'd be able to research most blocks and study them. And then you would be able to take something like a death cap and distill it into whatever essence I call it, whatever Viz I call it. But that death cap may have 4 or 5 different versions of whatever the Viz is, right? And one of them could be, you know, instant death. One could be damage over time, right? One can be minor run speed, you know? One can be, you know, satiety decrease, right? One can be, you know, weakness to sunlight, you know, whatever I end up adding, right? But it's going to be through a complex base like that I can make research actually fun and engaging instead of being like on the rails. So, but for Ars Magica 2, it would make more sense where I'm not gating you by research and specific types of Viz and what you've scanned and haven't scanned, but really it's going to be about accomplishments and getting skill points, and then using those skill points in a skill tree, right? So you'll be able to have like your skill tree here, and you'll be like, oh yeah, you know, I got a couple points, you know, I beat this boss and got 1 advance point. What should I do, right? I unlocked the Thaumic Foundry here, that branched off into these things, right? So I want to pursue a certain type of magic. There it is, right? Evocation. There's an advanced evocation, you know, grimoire creation. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to need special points, right? So I can give you a visual and let you comb through the mod. That also means that this guidebook becomes more like a regular guidebook, right? With less words in it, because I don't need to describe to you anymore what the path is. You could just look at what your discoveries are and be like, oh, the Oculus creates grimoires. I need to unlock that if I want to do the grimoires, right? And then unlocking that, I can see the next thing down, right? Like, hey, look at that, right? It's just gonna make more sense having like an Ars Magica 2 kind of system. Tisk, Vice. Bad mod confirmed. Well, you're not far off, Bernardo. There are plenty of people who think this mod is bad. there are plenty of people out there. And some of them are nice enough to tell me. As if their message is going to change my life. Well, the worst mod's in this game for XYZ reasons. It doesn't do what I want it to do. Like, alright, well, uninstall it. You don't have to send me a dissertation, dude. You don't like the mod. Either join in the Discord and start talking about things you don't like and get conversations going, or just keep walking. Right? Like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm so sorry, please don't leave me. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But again, right, once I get this in people's hands, for the play testing, right, they're going to be able to kind of create things, feel what it's like with the clay forming, making the new items, right? You know, popping everything in tablets. You know, the new way you're going to be able to, like, you know, do your farming too. You know, the new way you get your wands, right? Like, it's decoupled from the staves. Oh, yeah, I wanted to change this. I don't like Primitive Wand, and I think Runed Wand is a little too advanced for what this is. So I need to have something similar to this, right? So I could have a generic wood, a generic bone, right? So you have resonant wands. Those are like the advanced versions of the wand. You think primitive? It's not quite right. You know what? Screw it. It's going to be called a runed wand. That's what it's going to be called. Free to reload. Sounds nice. Will you be able to unlock everything, or you have to choose specific paths inside of a skill tree? So maybe there are several points in the tree where they branch into several other paths, and you have to make a choice. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you should have a maximum amount of skill points you can acquire, or maybe, again, the Ars Magica way was you could keep killing bosses and doing hard stuff to gain those rare, like, skill points to eventually unlock everything in the magic tree yourself. So I'm not sure. That's going to come down to what people, what the testers say, right? In Discord, I got the supporters chat. That's where I'm going to be packaging this up and giving it to the the supporters and having them run with it, and then we'll be having plenty of deep conversations about it. You know, I'll hear people out, because I mean we got people who, you know, everyone wants to see the magic mod a certain way, right? But we're all going to have to come together, and I'm going to have to curtail things because they're, you know what I mean? Some people who want a replica of Thaumcraft are going to be disappointed because it's not a replica of Thaumcraft, right? It's different on so many levels. Like, I could take aspects of things out, but it's not going to be a replica of that. Also, it would also be nice if these would be sort of research nodes. You choose a node, and you have to gather stuff for it, and maybe make rituals or find some specific book or something in ruins, or maybe kill a boss or something to unlock the research node and advance. Well, by research node, I'm not sure what a system like that would look like, but if you plan something out that makes sense, right, and present it like it could be something like that. Or when I think of node, I think of like this could be a node, right? It's an actual block, right? So do you create like a research node like this, right? Like you start your research and but then again, that's pretty much Thaumic Foundry crafting without a tablet and the Thaumic Foundry, right? So should the achievement points then be slabs, right, that you put in and you have to throw things in? But then again, it's basically a research recipe. I don't know. I think I gotta change transmutation, the colors of the spells. I think I'm gonna make it more kind of rainbow-like. Kind of decouple it from the transmutation green, blue, and purple. Actually, I should probably move the blue to be regular transmutation. That way it's more like in line with Arcanus, maybe a blue-green. And then I could do a rainbow colored for the advanced, for transmutation 2. Bam! Maybe I could do that. Let's go into particles. Actually, I think we need to go into the wand. Proto-wand. Where are the particles here? Forward to end. Here we go. There we go. Okay, so if it's Transmutation 1, this is the colors that I'm putting in here. Red, green, blue. So it's a very green kind of green. So what if I try and do like 180? That way it stays a little, or you know what? It should be maybe 200 here, and this should be like 180. Or you know what? We could do something like that. Then this could be 40, and then that one could stay 25. Okay, so it's the wrong thing that I'm changing here. Let's scroll up. There we go. This is what I would want to change. But that didn't quite look right to me. What if I make that 40 as well? It looks okay. I want more variation there, right? Because if you look, the blue hues are pretty good, right? I think I want just a little into green, right? Oh, I could just do it on this block. Yeah, the green needs to be able to be a little bit more vivid. So what if I increase this to like 80, right? Just really be able to make it green when it wants to be. Oh, that looks good. It's like a mint green with the light blue. Mint green and light blue. Kind of feels like it's pretty good. I'll bring this over here. There we go. Get all my mana back. Have one on each side. There we go. Oop. You know, I like that color a lot more. Let's try to maybe reduce this a lot too. I think it's gonna make things more vivid. Yeah, so it's not as washed out right now. But I could add 100 to this random. That way I get a combo of like sometimes it'll be washed out, sometimes the color will come in a little more. Kind of making some white faded colors too, right? Looks pretty good. I like that. That's going to be the new color of transmutation. Ooh, now this could be a little different here, right? Because now I have the particles spawn and then come in. I think those particles should be just as varied. And now we can go a little further down to here. Yeah, that looks good, right? We'll do something with like a lot of space. Okay, that's cool. Good. So this will be the new transmutation. New transmutation color. I also need to change the icon. It'd be nice if these... Alright, looks like we got some stuff. Was thinking about a sort of new block you craft, research table. Here you can open up a skill tree, just name research tree or something. And here initially, it could be linear. There could be research nodes like skills in a tree, and you basically choose a node which can be researched. And it brings up what it unlocks, like new blocks you can craft or new spells and other mechanics. Then it also tells you what you need to do in order to unlock it. To unlock a research node, it could be specific to each node, kill a specific mob, find a specific structure, find a specific item, do a specific thing, kill a specific boss, etc. Basically, you advance through the nodes like this. Some nodes might branch off into several paths, several nodes, and you gotta choose a single one, maybe multiple ones, but not all of them, sometimes all of them. This is how you advance through the mods. Some research nodes might have side effects on you. Yeah, I mean that's basically describing Ars Magica in kind of reverse, right? So the research nodes themselves in Ars Magica, they like you have to do the thing in the beginning, right, to get the skill point to even be able to unlock something, right? But that thing could be killing a specific boss, right? Doing like making a specific spell, right? Looting a random chest and getting lucky and finding like one of the mega rare skills, right? You know, like stuff like that. So your way would be more like going to this bench and being like, I want to unlock this, and then it almost gives you a quest that says kill this boss, and then you have to kill that boss with your research, you know, with your quest, and then you complete your quest unlocking that node, right? Kind of like that. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad approach. Bad at all. But something like that could very well work. Yeah. All right, so this is good. You know what? I kind of maybe it should be a little more green. Right? Should it just be a little bit more green? Possibly. What if I do this? I like that. So what if I keep with the blues here? You know what? This is actually good. I do like this. I like the kind of muted green. And you know what? It actually does work pretty well for Arcanus. All right, so let's change this one now. I think this one's going to be really easy. I could do something like 150, 150, 150. 60, 60, 60. Yeah, look at that. Bam. Perfect. Hell yeah. It's almost like I've been dealing with having to figure out these stupid colors. Way more than I should be. Right now there is no Transmutation 3, but you know what? I'll leave it. I'll leave it in. I was gonna comment it out, but I'll leave it in. Yeah, Corker Trotter, we really need to get this kind of stuff like I need these kind of conversations in Discord. Definitely in Discord. Right? Get people talking about these ideas, kicking them around. Because a lot of the stuff, like I am like people can convince me into things like this pretty easily, right? You get people talking about it, I start thinking about it, and all of a sudden the next stream I'm doing it. Right? Oh, 1 second. All right, everyone, that is my cue to wrap it up. We got some good stuff going on here. Got some good stuff. It seems like this is not quite right, so I'll have to figure this out another time. Thank you guys for watching. Let's find someone to raid. What do we got? Twitch. Oh, Wasteland Puppy. You know what? We're gonna raid him. I've been playing this like thief kind of game. It's been pretty interesting. It's kind of like low poly, but seems kind of cool. And like some of the ways too. Like it's bad in a lot of good ways. /raid Wasteland Puppy. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching me. Again, we're making progress. If I get a little bit more free time here, probably the supporters will have this in their hands today. I'm thinking. Oh, there. Oh, I see what it's doing. It's just picking one color. Okay, I could change that. But yeah, thanks everyone. Hopefully I could get this out. We can make grimoires. I didn't. Well, I just need to finish testing this grimoire, put it in here, right? Be able to create the staff and make sure I can cast spells. Once that's done, this can go in people's hands, and they can start kicking it around. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you all later. Bye. Adios. See you later. Bye.